Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back again for Be Bold Out Loud. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Dr. Michelle. I am your transformation strategist, and I assist professional women to be bold, to break through the obstacles, to lead in their destiny. And we do that by helping them to reconnect with their true self, by rediscovering purpose and passion, realigning with values and strengths, and doing a reset so they can move from where they are to where they want to be with authentic confidence. And I'm so excited today for my guest, Dr. Tanisha Guy. She's going to join us today, and she's just an amazing woman. And so I'm going to bring Dr. Guy on, and then I'm going to introduce her to you so that we can have this conversation and she can share some insights about how she has worked through the obstacles that have come up against her in her own life and business. So, Dr. Guy, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's such an honor to have you today. How are you?
I am awesome. Hi, Dr. Michelle.
Good to see you. So, hey, I have to read this amazing bio and then we will get started with our conversation. So, let me read this. So, Dr. Tanisha Guy is the founder and owner of Specialized Transformation Counseling and Consulting, LLC, voted Best Family Therapy Practice in Grand Prairie, Texas in 2014. She has 20 plus years of experience in the mental health field. She is the CEO of Powerhouse Coaching Academy, LLC, where she helps high achieving clinicians who are burned out, overworked, and underpaid achieve the goal of starting their own private practice. Dr. Guy is the recipient of the President Biden Lifetime Achievement Award for her lifelong commitment to building a stronger nation through volunteer service. She has taught at the graduate level and supervised for the last 18 years. She is a speaker, licensed professional counselor, supervisor, national certified counselor, certified life coach, and author of Private Practice in 30 Days, The Things They Didn't Teach You in School, the Business Side of Clinical Practice, and author of Stop Hearing and Start Listening, Tools for Active Listening to Improve Communication. Dr. Guy has a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's degree in mental health counseling, a master's of business and administration, a master's in entrepreneurship and leadership, and a doctorate degree in counselor education and supervision with an emphasis in marriage and family therapy. Dr. Tanisha Guy provides transformation coaching, executive consultation, CEU workshops, wellness seminars, and LPC supervision. She utilizes techniques that can be measurable and brief in nature, but will encourage the integration of thoughts, behaviors, and feelings to assist in creating a specialized transformation for each client. She is passionate, educated, knowledgeable, and confident about her skills and her ability to help people transform their lives one day at a time. You are a phenomenal woman. Yes, you are. I love it. I am so excited to talk to you today. And as you know, our conversations on Be Bold Out Loud are just about that, being bold and breaking through the obstacles that have held us up as we try to progress towards our destiny. So I just want to start by asking you to talk about some of the things that you've had to overcome. You've done amazing things, and I know that hasn't come without challenge. So tell me some of the obstacles you've had to overcome, maybe share one or two things. And then what was it? What was your strategy? How did you get through it and get past it?
Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle. But before I answer that question, I first have to speak to you. Thank you for bringing me on your show.
Yes.
And you mentioned helping individuals live their life and be bold out loud. And you mentioned the importance of authentic and being your authentic self. And so I just have to say that from the time we first met, you have been nothing but authentic and genuine. And so not only do you say the words, but you embody those. And so for anyone who is listening, I just need them to know that they're not just seeing you on this screen and listening to you say one thing, but you purposely walk in being authentic and genuine. And that's important because not everybody lives up to the words that they say. So just thank you for being that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So challenges, I've had so many. Let's see, where do we start?
Yes.
I'm going to start with starting my practice because I think that was probably one of my biggest challenges. So I started my practice right after, I won't say right after, I finished my doctorate degree in 2005.
Mhm.
And right after finishing, I went into higher ed and started teaching. And so I had been teaching for, I think, about 3 years, 5, 6, 7, 3 years before I decided to start the practice. And it was something that I had always wanted to do. Um, I had been looking at other individuals who were in their private practice. And again, I was teaching full time. So I had some experience, I had the degree, I had the license, but for some reason, I was hesitant about starting the practice. And I remember calling everyone I knew. I called my parents, I called my friends. I was like, y'all think I should do this? And everyone said the same thing. Yes, what are you waiting on?
Mhm.
And so it probably took about 6 months going back and forth with people, myself saying, should I do it? I think I should do it. And I really didn't have a reason not to do it other than fear.
Mhm.
I was terrified because as a counselor educator, I knew how to do counseling. I knew how to be a professor, but I had no idea how to be a business owner.
Mhm.
It was a completely different world for me, and I didn't know where to get started. I didn't know how to be successful, and I didn't want to start something and not be successful at it. So, fear was my biggest challenge. And for about 6 months, it had me on the fence contemplating, should I do this, even though I knew that it was definitely something that I wanted to do.
Mhm.
So that was my challenge, the biggest one, I would say.
Mhm. Mhm. And I know that you brought up fear. I know that's a challenge for everybody. No matter what they're trying to do, but especially when they recognize that there is something beyond what they're doing in that moment that they want to do, it's in their heart to do, but maybe like you, they didn't have the tools and they start second guessing, right?
Mhm.
Whether or not they should move forward. So I'll let you go on and talk a little bit about that, but I just wanted to kind of bring that out because I know that's surely something that our listeners deal with.
What I've definitely found since that experience is when you talk about purpose, and you know what your purpose is, things begin to line up. And so, right when I made the decision that this is what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and start my practice, people started entering my life that would assist me in that journey. I had no idea that this was going to happen. And so the fear that I had that I started with that, oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know if this is what I need to be doing. People were placed in my life to assist me. And so what I found is that the fear was still there, but it began to minimize because of the people that I was aligning myself with. So I got a mentor. I had someone to coach me through the process. And that was so beneficial because I didn't have to try to figure things out on my own. There was someone to say, so this is what you need to do. You start here, don't do this, try this. And that gave me some ease because I felt like I wasn't in it by myself. Um, that fear of, I don't know how to do this, I'm all alone, and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes was terrifying. Now, I knew I was going to make some mistakes, but I didn't want to make the mistakes that would cause me to have to close my business. And so for me, it was key to align myself with other individuals that had done what I wanted to do. And that was really what allowed me to start the practice and to this day to still be in practice.
Absolutely. I love alignment. I talk about alignment because so many times we kind of push into areas or into things, as you said, without knowledge, without the understanding of what we need to do, and we just push through. And some of that is necessary, right? Some of that you have to do to actually take the step, but to get yourself in alignment so that you are actually moving in the direction you need to go, what you did was so important, and that's
Mm-hmm.
connecting with the right people, the mentors, the people that are going to help you. And you were blessed to have those people come into your life, but sometimes if those people don't come, we need to seek it out. We need
Mm-hmm.
to search out the people and the processes that are going to help us to be successful. And again, it's really it's breaking down the obstacle, right? It's breaking down the obstacle of fear, not
Mhm.
knowing what you don't know, but finding the people or the person who can help you with the systems to get in place so that you can move forward. And I think that's with anything. So as you connected, right, with the right people, did you find that you had some times where you still felt like maybe this isn't the right person, maybe I should have gone that direction? Did you still have those moments as well?
Absolutely. The vetting process is real, right?
Yes.
It
Yes,
is
it is.
real. And so there were some people who I thought, oh, yeah, you're very knowledgeable. But after a short period of time, I realized you're knowledgeable, but you're not ethical. And our
Mm,
visions don't align.
mm-hmm,
And so your vision for what you want to do doesn't align with my vision. And so we need to part our ways. Even though you're extremely knowledgeable, um, I need to align with people who understand that this is my vision, this is my mission, this is my purpose, but they also move with integrity.
mm-hmm,
And sometimes you don't always find that out in your initial meetings or even in the first few encounters. So that vetting process is very serious. And it took me a while to understand that, because as a counselor, I just want to embrace everybody. Come on into my circle, be
yeah,
in my ecosystem. I like you, you like me.
mm-hmm,
But I realized that everyone who comes into your space doesn't always mean you well.
right,
And that was difficult for me to be able to cut ties with people who I had looked up to and admired, and at some point had possibly mentored me through a process. But I had to be able to walk away and say, this isn't a good fit for me, and I need to find someone else to align with who's a much better fit so that I can continue to grow. And I still struggle with that concept today, but I'm much better with kind of understanding that everybody isn't for you. Even though you may want everybody to be for you, they're just not going to be.
right, absolutely. And what you said is important. It takes, I mean, we're talking about being bold, right? It takes courage to walk
Mm,
away from people that you like them, they've been good to you, they've taught you some things, but we have to know when that season might be up, right?
mm,
Or as you said, if their integrity isn't where it needs to be, and I know that's a big thing in your platform altogether. But when their integrity isn't where it needs to be, that has to be in alignment. It has to absolutely be in alignment, or it's going to take you down a road that you don't want to go down.
mm.
But it takes courage to be able to do that. So
Absolutely.
what was it like for you having to let some people go?
It was difficult at first, because remember, going back to that fear, right?
Mhm,
It was a scary process because at that time I didn't have anyone else in their place to say, "Oh, you're going to assist me,"
mhm,
and so it meant that I would need to either search out for other people or try to figure this out on my own.
mhm,
But at a certain point, I was willing to do that because, again, I didn't want to be in relationship with people who I didn't align with. And so I was able to do that and realize that it opened doors for other people to come into my space. And
mhm,
so I think when you talked about courage, I often talk about the seeds of success. And for me, finding courage was one of those seeds because, again,
mm,
in the beginning, there was all this fear about it.
right.
Um, and I understand that fear is just false evidence appearing real. And
Mhm,
once you get past that, then you can do anything. And so once I was able to build up this courage, it allowed me to gain confidence. And so
mhm,
once I had confidence in the practice, I began to connect with other people. And because I was connecting with those people, I began to see my practice grow in different ways. And the confidence helped me gain more clarity. And as a result of that, I realized even though um, there's a struggle in the beginning when you're contemplating something, even though you know this is your purpose, this is the path that you should be on, there's this huge fear about failing. I made several mistakes. I had a lot of failing points,
right.
but I needed those mistakes. I needed those failures because as a result, I learned how to do something different. But also now I'm able to go back and tell someone else. So this is what I did. You probably don't want to do that. Here's a better way to
Right.
achieve that goal. So I definitely see those things as a benefit versus a hindrance anymore.
Hmm. And I think it's wonderful that, not wonderful that you had to go through those things, but wonderful that you went through them to the point that now you can help somebody else maybe not run into the same barriers that you ran into. But
Mhm.
people have to be willing to come and say, I don't know what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
But when you have somebody who can say, hey, I've been there, this is what happened for me, let me show you how to do this so it doesn't occur for you. I think that's so so important. So you talked about courage, confidence, and clarity. Did I get those right?
Absolutely.
And I heard another word in there too, connect, right? And as I said earlier, you connected with the right people. So if you were to say something to the audience about if they're in that place right now where they're just really struggling with an obstacle, and it doesn't even have to be about starting a business. It
Mhm.
can be that maybe they need to work on boundaries in a relationship, right? Or they need to walk away from one job and see what else is out there for them, or whatever the case might be. So where would you tell them to start as they think about that next step in their journey?
So I think everything should start with us.
Okay.
And that's the first thing, because oftentimes we want to do things to please other people, because we think it will make them happy. And by making them happy, it will make us happy,
Mhm.
which is incorrect. And so, whatever that decision is or whatever they're trying to do, it really needs to start with something they want. And
Mhm.
they want to do it not because someone else is telling them they should do it, but they generally feel like this is where I should be, this is what I want. And in starting there, again, I think the next step is to become aware about what does it look like. And if they don't know, then they need to reach out, connect to those individuals that can help them get there. One
Mhm.
of my struggles, also in the beginning, was asking for help.
Wow.
I just have to be honest and say
Yeah.
that. I thought that asking for help meant, I thought people would see me in a different light because I needed to ask for help, especially coming in as someone who supposed to know a certain area, right? And so people would say, "Well, you have a PhD," and I would say, "So what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? A PhD does not equate to owning a business." And so I just had to get out of my own way and understand that asking for help does not negate my knowledge and capacity to do well in another profession. This is not my wheelhouse. And so I think people have to be willing to step outside their comfort zone and seek assistance, and know that seeking assistance does not mean that they're any less um, that they have any less ability to do whatever it is that they want to do. It just means that they need some assistance. And after they're able to seek out that assistance, the next thing is they have to be consistent.
Mhm.
That is one of the biggest struggles, is that sometimes we quit before we get the results, and not because the results aren't coming, but because we're not consistent in what it is, right?
Mhm.
So there are so many individuals that will say, I want to get to 100,000 followers. Okay, well, are you consistent in what you're doing? Are you consistent in posting? Are you consistent in doing lives? And they'll say, well, no, I kind of show up every other day or maybe once a week. Well, you're not getting the results that you want because you're not being consistent. You
Mhm.
know, some people will talk about they want to improve their relationships, but the things that they need to do to improve their relationships, they're not consistent with it. So I think whatever it is that the individual is struggling with, one is become aware and know that this is truly what I want to do,
Mhm.
get connected to individuals that they can help them get
Mhm.
through that process, and then stay committed to that process despite what they're going through.
Absolutely. That's excellent, excellent advice. And I know that consistency thing is a struggle. And especially I think, how people say you get in your feelings.
Hmm.
People get in their feelings and it's not coming fast enough, or, somebody says something to hurt their feelings, or whatever the case might be. And I think that sometimes when people get emotional, they lose sight of the goal, right? Because if you know what you want and you get the help you need to get there and you remain consistent, you know that it's going to come. But what I think trips us up a lot of times is that we get in our feelings, we get emotional, it's not coming like we wanted to, or somebody's hurt us, or whatever the case might be. And then we stop. And what are
Mhm.
we doing? We're turning that negativity inward. We're sabotaging ourselves instead of using that same energy to keep going, to press forward. I always think about the growth mindset, right? That
Mhm.
there's an opportunity for growth here. And opportunities for growth don't always mean that they are easy. Opportunities for growth definitely mean that they come with a challenge. And so I think that is so important that when people do decide what they want, that they also put their big girl pants on. I'm gonna put it that way, and get ready, because there's going to be some struggles, right? There's going to be some challenges along the way. But again, getting the help you need, getting in alignment with the people that can help you to continue to move forward and to remain consistent, because accountability is a big thing. So if you get the right people in your circle, or you get in a group, where accountability is in there, that also helps with that. But you got to put those processes, you got to put all those systems in place so that you are moving forward. Um, and I guess I would ask you, have you ever run into that where you felt you kind of got in your feelings and you were like, okay, I'm done. Have you ever felt that?
Absolutely. I have felt that. But one of the things I will recall prior to starting my practice, one of the other biggest challenges was completing my doctoral degree.
Mm.
Up until that, school was pretty much, I won't say a breeze, but it was pretty easy, right?
Mhm.
Go to class, read a book, take the test. But the doctoral process was a little bit different. The dissertation wasn't necessarily about reading a book and just taking a test. It was more of a life experience. And so, as you know, it required some commitment, it required time management, it required blood, sweat, and tears, all of that put together. And so that really challenged me. And I remember I called my grandmother because I was like, I'm going through it. I got this self doubt. What is really going on? And she gave me a scripture and she says, every day I just need you to repeat, God has not given us the spirit of fear.
Mm.
And even though that's just the beginning of the scripture, that's all the part I needed, right? That was
Mhm.
my reminder that, okay, I can do this. This is definitely doable. I can get it complete. And so I became more aware of my negative self talk. So when it would come up, I would replace it with some positive talk. So when I thought, I can't finish this, I would get a little sticky note and I would just write on the sticky note, Dr. Guy, and I would stick it wherever. If I was in the kitchen, if I was in the bathroom. And so by the end of the process, I had sticky notes everywhere. That tells you how often I had these negative.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But each time I had it, this was my way to combat it, was to say, I know that this is possible. I can get through this. And so the self doubt began to diminish more and more. And so now that is my go to when I have those moments where I think, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm feeling a certain kind of way. I remind myself that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of strength. And then I immediately go to my writing and I write down what is it that I either need to do, what is it that I can do, and I follow that with the behavior. And that's really been my go to. So without that, I would probably be in my feelings and I would
Mhm.
probably say, you know what, maybe this
Mhm.
isn't for me. I'm going to quit.
Yeah.
But for me, my motto is quitting is not an option.
Yes, absolutely. That's a excellent strategy. Excellent strategy. And there's nothing like the word, right? And grandma will bring you the word, right?
Yes.
There's nothing like the word to encourage you, but to take that and use it as a strategy for you to keep going, right? And and whatever it takes, if it takes a sticky note to say Dr. Guy everywhere, if it takes positive self talk, whatever it takes. But I go back to what you said. When you make a decision about what you want, then there's going to be some things along the way that you're going to have to do to be able to stick to it, right? We have to have that stick to itness. So I
Absolutely.
love that. Dr. Guy, you are, as I said, a phenomenal woman, and this has just been absolutely amazing. I want the audience to know that, especially if they are looking to get into private practice, if they are wanting to start their business, you have had some you have some tools because you've been through it, and sometimes when you've been there, done that, you can be the best teacher. So I want you to share how people can get in touch with you if they are interested in working with you.
Sure. So they can reach me by email, and that is Dr. Tanisha Guy at info@stccounseling.com. They can find me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn at Dr. Tanisha Guy, or they can reach me by phone at 972-630-8255.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for being here with me today. This has been so encouraging to me, and I love our conversations because all the time when we have conversations, I'm just reminded, to be encouraged. It's like having the right tribe. I talk about a tribe a lot. It's right, having the right people in your circle to encourage you. So thank you so much for joining today.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
So you have been watching Be Bold Out Loud, and we had some amazing nuggets from Dr. Guy today. She talked about those fears. She talked about the consistency, which is so important to be able to overcome. When you know what you want, recognize that there are going to be some obstacles in your way. However, if you take courage, if you're confident, then the clarity will come and you will continue forward. I can't thank her enough for the amazing value that she's added to us today. So, as I said, you know me, I am Dr. Michelle. I am your transformation strategist, and I want to help you to be bold out loud, to break through the obstacles, to lead in your destiny. So please reach out to me at www.drmichellewells.com. And as you see, Michelle is with one L. You can also text the word bold to 859-287-4213, and we can get on a call together so that we can talk about how you can start living your life bold. There's dreams, there's desires in your heart. I know that you want to get to. And so I want to be there to walk alongside you and help you. Please reach out to me. And thank you so much for watching Be Bold Out Loud. We will see you the next time. Dr. Michelle here, signing off. Have a great day.